Pardon?
Are you doing a news piece?
Just having a look at your cars now, really. Just saw this PC was idling up there, and I figured she was going to be coming out in a second. So, yeah, just waiting for... Oh, my days. Oh, so we got an inspector, a PC?
Yeah.
PC? Inspector. So we've got 4 police officers for a man with a camera.
Right.
But it's quite intimidating, isn't it, having 4 people come out?
There's private vehicles there as well as vehicles that are unmarked.
Sure,
I'm just wondering what your purpose
but it's quite
is.
intimidating having 4 officers come out and across somebody with a camera.
You're here on police premises.
Yeah, but like 4 people.
We need to establish whether there's a security issue.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk to me about what you're here for? I've got no issue with you filming, but as I've said, there's private vehicles.
Yeah, it's not my intention to get those. If they're in the background of a shot, they're in the background of a shot. But I'm not here to.
I'm not doing a news piece. Do you want an interview? I'll talk to you if you'd like to have an interview.
Not particularly. No, just want to have a look around. That's all. Just like to look around.
I saw you obviously trying to walk around there. So I was just wondering.
You should be careful with the information that you say like that, because I wasn't trying to walk around there at all.
The scene starts with intent written all over it. 4 officers, an inspector at the front, marching straight at the auditor without a second's pause. No assessment, no observation, just action. The inspector plays a usual soft entry, pretending there's no issue with filming, before slipping in the setup. Private vehicles in the car park. That's a pivot, framing the auditor's presence as questionable. Seconds later, her colleague seals it with a bold statement, claiming the auditor tried to enter the restricted area. That's not reporting facts, that's shaping a narrative. Nothing unlawful, nothing crossed, but the tactic is clear. Paint intent, create suspicion, and suddenly you've built a reason to intervene.
I was stood there for a good 4 minutes watching you in your vehicle, and I saw the sign saying no unauthorised access. So don't tell me that I was trying to walk places where I wasn't. Be careful with things like that.
Have you got the footage that you need?
I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
Okay, but I'd like you to leave, because as I've said, there are private vehicles there, but you've got some footage. You've got enough. There's nothing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the footage that I was getting was actually interrupted by the PC stopping and coming out. But so I'll probably wait around to see if any more vehicles come in or out. See if I can get one on blue lights.
You shouldn't do that, because as I've said, there's private cars coming in and out. Officers don't want you recording them coming and going from duty, because that presents a potential security risk.
Well, they shouldn't drive to work then, really, should they? If they're that concerned.
You have no business to film the private areas that are off limit to the public.
I have every business to film anything that's visible from a public area.
But my point is, you shouldn't be going up there, which is what you've done.
I haven't gone past the signage where your signage is. It doesn't say the signage. The signage is the signage here saying that I can't go further than this, or is the signage there saying I can't go further than there?
Twice she leans on the phrase private vehicles, like it's some magic law that cancels public rights, when in truth those cars are irrelevant, visible from public space, and therefore fair game to film. But the repetition plants doubt, making it sound like the auditor is somewhere forbidden. That's just groundwork for the next move, telling him he's got enough footage, as if her word sets a limit instead of actual law. Then she echoes her colleague's claim that he tried to head into a restricted zone, without checking signs, without seeing it herself. She simply adopts the accusation and stamps it with authority. But the auditor isn't fooled. He knows the boundaries better than they do and reminds him the restricted area lies further ahead. He hasn't crossed a line, and this time the law is firmly on his side.
My personal use, public interest.
Well, my personal vehicle is there, and I'm asking you, from me to you as a private individual, I'm not comfortable with you violating my personal space.
It's not your personal space. It's
my
public.
vehicle there, my private vehicle is there, and I'm not comfortable with you filming that.
Well, if you hadn't announced that it was your private vehicle, nobody would ever have known.
I'm telling you it is, so
no, you are
I'm
doing
asking
now.
you to stop. Yeah,
well, I'm not going to. It's in a public
area. In which
area.
case, you'll have to be removed to prevent the breach of the peace, because you are.
How am I breaching the peace? Do you know what the threshold is for breach of the peace?
You already have enough footage, so I'm asking you to leave.
Okay.
You're creating these officers aren't able to get on with their policing
I'm
duty.
not stopping them.
The inspector's reply is staggering, claiming her personal space is being invaded because her car sits in a police lot that's visible from public ground. She's in uniform, on duty, pointing to property that isn't Hayes, and yet tries to frame it as private. The auditor cuts straight through, reminding her it's not her space at all, but she doubles down, insisting she's unhappy with her vehicle being filmed. The irony? If she hadn't drawn attention to it, no one watching would have noticed. She created the link herself, turning something anonymous into something personal. A misstep, not a breach. Then comes the escalation, a threat of removal for a breach of the peace. But that's a misuse of power. Breach of the peace is about preventing violence or disorder, not shutting down lawful filming just because an officer feels uncomfortable.
Individuals, as I was getting on with a matter that's of concern to the community, and I've got an individual on police premises filming not only the police cars coming and going, but officers arriving for duty and leaving again. That causes me a concern.
So you're working on conjecture there, because I have specifically said that is not my intention.
I've said to you, you're causing me a concern. So
Okay.
I'd like you to leave.
Well, you're concerned. Do police by your feelings in this country, or do you police by what the law is?
I'd like you to leave.
Do you police by what?
I'd like you to leave.
Do you police by what the law is, or do you
Sir,
police
I'm gonna
by?
get the officers to take you away, because you are not.
Am I in a
but
public place?
There are officers having private conversations about cases in the backyard of the police station.
Well, they
which
shouldn't
is
be.
not-
They shouldn't be
you
having
are-
that conversation in that sort of place.
But you shouldn't be there within the scope of being able
I can
to
be.
film this.
Do you know you can film anything you can see from a public place in the UK?
Okay.
Is this a public place?
This is a public place.
There you go. So if I can film it,
let me put it a different way. If you stand at the end of my driveway at home, which
Sure.
is a public place, repairable at public expense,
Sure.
and you film into my window, is that acceptable?
is this your home? Do you live here? Do you sleep here?
But these are private premises. Beyond this line here, you are filming from a public into a private space. Is that
Okay.
permitted?
Yes.
When the auditor reminds her is in a public place, she pulls a classic trap. If you stood at the end of my driveway and filmed into my window, would that be acceptable? It's a weak analogy from the start. Filming into someone's private home can raise genuine privacy issues, but this isn't a home, it's a police station. No expectation of domestic privacy exists here. The auditor calls her bluff instantly. Is this your home? Do you live here? That's the key distinction. The law treats a private residence very differently from a workplace, especially one run by a public body. She tries to recover by insisting, this is private premises. You're filming private from public. But the point stands. If something is lawfully visible from public space, it can be filmed. Her driveway example isn't law. It's a red herring meant to shift the debate from legal reality to emotional persuasion.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Of course it
No.
is.
So you can stand on my road and film me in my home, can you?
If your curtains are open, then legally, yes, I can.
So
If I continue to do it repeatedly, then you could potentially take action about harassment. But at this point, I've been here once only, to come and get some footage that I want to
Just
get.
on footage for a couple of minutes and then you can leave.
No,
please.
you don't put a time. You don't put a time limit
I
on
do
my
put a
rights.
time limit on you, and
No.
I'm telling you.
Do you know what
now,
Article 10 is of the Human Rights Act?
You are causing me personally harassment and alarm by filming here.
Go talk to the Lord Justice Bean about it. The police have a much
You
higher
have 2 minutes
threshold.
to leave and then you're going to go.
No,
Otherwise
I'm
you'll
not.
Be arrested.
I'm not.
Sure you're-
Arrest me?
Yes,
You're going
be
to arrest me.
arrested.
You'll be hearing from my
Absolutely.
solicitors, and you'll be having a civil suit on your hands. Arrest me for what? What are you going to arrest me for?
You are causing a nuisance.
What are you
here.
going to arrest me for?
Either public nuisance or harassment.
Public nuisance.
Yeah.
So under the new legislation that came with a public. So
You've got your opportunity to film.
So
I'd like you to not film or certainly delete anything that has details of my personal vehicle or that of any of the police officers there, and then I want you to go. All right?
you don't put a time limit on my rights.
From getting on with
No,
the
I'm exercising my rights here, and you don't put a time limit on that, Inspector. Inspector what? Blackwell? Thank you.
No, are you all right with me? Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, see, I'm obviously not that much of a concern, so you're allowing them to go about their business, yet you're threatening to arrest me. Tyrants here at Stamford.
The inspector's last stand before retreating is nothing but threat dressed as authority. First, she gives the auditor 2 minutes to go, then raises the stakes with, or else you'll be arrested for public nuisance. And that's where the act unravels. Public nuisance isn't a catch-all excuse of lawful filming. It's a serious, defined offense tied to danger, obstruction, or widespread harm. A quiet camera on public ground doesn't even scratch that surface. By wielding it as a scare tactic, she wasn't applying the law. She was bending it to force compliance. Chief Inspector Shield only compounds a problem. Instead of acknowledging the false claims, the personal space bluff, the misuse of breach of the peace, and the baseless arrest threat, he sidesteps everything, insisting she was within her rights to ask questions. Asking is one thing. Fabricating grounds is another. His fallback argument that filming may cause concern is just as hollow. Concern isn't law. Suspicion must be reasonable and linked to an actual offense, and here there was none. By brushing past that reality and declaring she wasn't unprofessional, Shield ends up exposing the very culture of justification that the footage makes impossible to deny. Professionalism isn't about tone of voice. It's about applying the law fairly, avoiding empty threats, and keeping personal bias out of authority. Blackwell failed on every front, inventing personal space over a police car park, leaning on a flawed driveway analogy, and threatening arrest with no legal basis. Shield had the footage yet still endorsed her actions, proving how internal reviews shield the badge instead of the public. His claim that no further action was needed ignores the clear misuse of authority caught on camera. If inspectors can blur personal feelings with official powers, spin false comparisons, and issue groundless threats without consequence, then the process isn't about accountability. It's about covering for its own. The footage shows what the review denies. This wasn't measured policing. It was misuse of power from start to finish. And by defending it, Shield didn't just excuse the inspector. He revealed how little the system is willing to hold itself accountable. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.